crap, guys. All right, we're back with another unboxing, and in this video I am going to show you my super blotched gargoyle geckos, some of the future up and coming breeders, and if that gives you a hint on to what is coming in this box, then you're pretty smart, because right here we have some super blotched red gargoyle geckos from Dragonborn Exotics. My buddy Ryan over here breeds some exceptional geckos, so I want to unbox this in front of you guys, show you guys why I'm so excited about these geckos. And holy crap, guys, this is what a super blotch is supposed to look like. But this is the first little super blotch I got. It is super fired up, so it's not showing a lot of contrast right now. Super excited to see how this one ends up turning out. And let me show you the other one. And you guys know I'm all about getting different bloodlines and all that. And check this one out, another super nice gargoyle gecko here. This one is another super blotched. This is a probable female from my understanding. A lot of red on this one as well, great quality red. We're gonna go home, set them up. Woo. Yeah, then I'm gonna show you some of the other ones that I have growing out. Historically, I've always focused mostly on my striped animals. Lately been focusing more on my super blotched. I've been investing more in my super blotched projects. I've been holding back some of my super blotched that I produce. So I'm excited for the next few years with these animals here. You see there's a little bit of a wavy tail there. Not a big deal. Sometimes gargoyles especially will get that when they're super high stressed, or if they're slightly dehydrated or something, which, you know, from a long trip it can happen. So I'm not too worried about that. That won't be an issue in a couple weeks. These geckos are absolutely exceptional, great coloration, great pattern, and I'm looking forward to growing them out, getting them set up, and showing you guys the other geckos that we have that are super blotched. All right, so let me put this guy back, drive back home, and show you what I got. We are back at the gecko house, and I am going to put these two geckos away. I always preach about diversifying your blood and your projects, and this is not very hard to do when your geckos look like this. Huge shout out to Ryan for producing some amazing animals. This little super blotched here, look at my Kamehameha there, is absolutely insane. It is a probable male from what he told me, so I'm excited to grow this out and just keep adding to my super blotch project. We're going to set them up in very simple enclosures for today. Now when I do get new geckos, I like to set them up with paper towels, some egg crates, and maybe a fake plant or two, something very, very simple. That way I can keep an eye on the poop and keep an eye on the animal. I won't touch them, I'll just let them be for at least a week or until I see them eating and pooping regularly. And then I will, if I want to handle them, I'll take them out, inspect them, or just, you know, honestly, sometimes because it is my brother that's taking care of these geckos, I'll hop in here in the gecko house, go through geckos at night, and then I can't believe how much they have grown. Here is the other gecko I got. Now this one is a probable female. I would put money on that she is a female just because I'm looking at her vent area and it is super flat there. But check that gecko out. Holy macaroni. This is as super blotch as it gets. Honestly, this is just going to aid our project so much. I can't wait. I actually love the amount of coverage she has already, but my only thing about her is I would fill in that gap in the middle with more red blotching, and then she's perfect. So super excited about this one. I'm going to put her away, and now I am going to show you some of the other super blotched gargoyle geckos that we have here, that we've produced here, we've acquired, that are going to add to this project, or that might be breeding next year, so stay tuned. These are going to be insane. Check this female out. This girl actually came from Pharaoh. He is one of my striped males from Philip Tremper, and she is insane looking blotched. A little bit of that skeleton blotching going on, so I'm excited to put her with some skeleton blotched animals. And this girl actually just laid some infertile eggs about like 3 days ago, so she is a little bit on the thinner side. Love like thickness of the blotches down the dorsal. She has great structure, horns, and just an overall amazing looking gecko. And one of my favorite things to do is get these blotched animals from these striped groups and pair them to my other blotched groups and see if they produce more striped or blotched animals, because it's just kind of odd when you see some aberrant striped animals produce a crazy super blotch like this. But this girl is one of my favorites. I can't wait to breed her. And yeah, she'll definitely be breeding next year. She's still a little small. She's about, I would say, 40 grams or so, especially now that she dropped some eggs, but she'll be ready to go by next year. All right, so check this one out. This is another one of those gargoyles that actually was produced by a striped group. Now, I tend to see that the aberrant stripes are the ones that produce reticulated pattern animals. Now, same goes for those red stripes that are aberrant. They will produce animals like this. This is another one of those skeleton type blotches. And what skeleton means is basically that the blotching is primarily running down the back, and it still has blotching and a banded reticulated pattern, but the bulk of that blotching is primarily running down the back and almost forms like a stripe when you look at it from the top view. This is a really dope animal. It was produced here in-house, and one that I'm definitely gonna pair up with this following gecko I'm about to show you that I imported from Korea, which is another skeleton blotched gargoyle gecko. This girl is incredible. Now this right here is that gecko that I was telling you guys that I imported from Korea. We actually did an unboxing video that he was featured in, but this is a clear example of what a skeleton blotched look like. Now you could see the clear, you know, formation of those blotches running down the back like if it was striped, and that is the whole kind of like idea behind the skeleton blotches. Now, is this a particular mutation or more of like a selectively bred trait or a line trait? I think it's gonna lean more towards like a line trait, but it is a very beautiful look, and it's kind of like the best of both worlds. If you like stripes and you like blotches, this is kind of like both in one animal. I definitely like when the blotches are spread out a lot as well, but this guy is just hard not to like. And check out those eyebrows on him. He does have that red coloration on his eyes, which is super sought after and typically indicates of higher quality animals because the red has been so, you know, forced into those genetics basically. But super cool, and this male will be breeding with those previous females I showed you that are skeleton blotch, just to have a solid group of skeleton blotched animals going. Excited for him to be breeding maybe next year, depends. He's been growing pretty quick, but we'll see if he makes it up to breeding weight for the next breeding season. So this next gecko is actually from my Pharaoh group as well. You could see that Pharaoh produces a bunch of super blotched animals because that is an aberrant striped group, like I was mentioning earlier. Now this one is fired down, which I actually really like the look of fired down super blotches because you could actually see the color contrast a lot better than if it was super fired up and it's, let's say, a red base. So whereas a red base, red blotched animal fired up looks like just one beautiful red gecko, when it is fired down you see the white base color with that contrasting red, and it makes it look that much more impressive. Now this one in particular is not a skeleton, it has more of a banded type patterning, but it is very impressive, and I personally think these are my favorite types of blotches, the ones with the banding type pattern that go across the body all the way through. Now this guy here is probably my favorite holdback that I've produced as far as the super blotches go. This guy is just littered with red all over. You could see that, got him. You could see all that pattern in the belly. You could see the pattern on top, all the super blotching, the face coloration. And this is a male, so I lucked out with this one. I can't wait to breed him next year to some of those females that I have already shown. But this is a powerhouse animal. I put this with some of those skeleton blotches, and I feel like we're gonna fill in that dorsal there. You fill this in with more blotching along with those splatters of red across the body and the belly and the face, and you're going to make some of the most beautiful gargoyle geckos in the world. So super excited about this guy. I actually do still need a name for this guy. Haven't found a good name for him yet, but he is going to be breeding next year. He is a smaller young adult right now, but by next year he'll be ready to go. As you can see, he already got his boy parts there, and he is looking forward to meeting some beautiful ladies next year. So this guy is one of my favorites. I want to hear what you guys have to think about him. He is just incredible. I actually like that he's kind of like semi-fired up right now. He is a red base, so when he's fired up, you don't see a trace of any other color aside from red. But right now, you could see some of that contrast and some of the splattering of red all across the body. And again, look at that belly. I think the belly is the coolest part. It looks like it's like red tiger striping down the belly. So really, really unique looking male right here. Blotches have definitely grown on me for the past couple years, and that's why I'm expanding on them. But it's hard to not get excited when you have an animal that looks like this. Alright guys, and this is actually not a holdback of mine, but it is an incredible super blotch that I have posted on the website. If you are interested in this little one or any other gargoyle geckos, make sure you check us out on TikisGeckos.com. And that is it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you're as excited as I am for this morph of gargoyle geckos, and I will catch you guys on the next one.